Have you ever wondered why some people just seem to draw others in without even trying? They walk into a room and heads turn. Not because they're loud or flashy, but because they carry a quiet, magnetic energy that's impossible to ignore. Welcome to ZenLight 8, where we're diving into the art of silent attractiveness with 11 powerful habits inspired by Stoic wisdom. These aren't tricks or gimmicks. They're timeless practices that unlock your inner calm, confidence, and connection. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll discover how to become effortlessly captivating, not by chasing attention, but by mastering the strength within. Let's get started. Habit 1. Embrace your authentic independence. Have you ever noticed someone who seems to carry themselves with a quiet power, a kind of presence that doesn't scream for attention but pulls it in effortlessly? They're not the loudest voice in the room, nor are they trying to prove anything to anyone. Yet, there's something about them, something steady, unshakable, and deeply magnetic. That's the essence of authentic independence. It's not about isolating yourself or shouting your worth to the world. It's about living in a way that's so rooted in your own values, so aligned with who you truly are, that you don't need anyone else to tell you you're enough. And here's the thing, when you master this habit, people feel it. They're drawn to it. It's a silent attractiveness that speaks louder than words ever could. Authentic independence is about finding your own compass and trusting it to guide you, even when the path feels lonely or uncertain. It's not the kind of independence that builds walls or pushes people away. It's the kind that says, I'm whole on my own, and because of that, I can connect with others in a way that's real, not forced. Imagine someone who doesn't bend with every trend, who doesn't shift their personality to fit the crowd. They're not chasing likes, applause, or validation. Instead, they're focused on their own journey, their own growth, their own quiet pursuit of what matters. That's rare in a world where so many of us are caught up in comparison, tethered to the opinions of others like their lifelines. When you see someone break free from that, it's refreshing, it's inspiring, it's magnetic. But let's be honest, authentic independence isn't easy. It's not a switch you flip and suddenly become unshakable. It takes work. It means sitting with yourself, asking hard questions like, am I living for me, or am I living for what others expect of me? It means trusting your decisions when no one's clapping for you, standing by your choices even when they're misunderstood. It's about finding peace in your own company, not because you're running from the world, but because you've learned to enjoy the quiet space within yourself. That's where the strength starts. That's where the silent confidence begins to grow. Think about it. How often do we tie our worth to external things? A compliment from a friend, a promotion at work, a number on a screen. We've all done it. It's human. But the moment you start peeling that away, the moment you stop needing those things to feel whole, something shifts. You don't have to announce your confidence. It shows up in the way you move, the way you speak, the way you listen. People notice it without you saying a word. They feel the calm assurance in your presence, the quiet certainty in your actions. You're not trying to keep up with anyone because you're too busy walking your own path. And that's what makes you stand out. Not the noise you make, but the stillness you carry. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic thinkers, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Authentic independence is that power. It's realizing that your worth doesn't hinge on what's happening around you. It's built from within. The Stoics didn't see this as arrogance or isolation. They saw it as freedom. Freedom from the endless cycle of seeking approval, freedom to live by your principles, freedom to be yourself without apology. And when you're free like that, people can't help but be drawn to you. Not because you're demanding their attention, but because you're offering something they rarely see. Someone who's truly at peace with who they are. So how do you cultivate this habit? It starts with reflection. Take a moment, right now if you can, and ask yourself, what drives me? Am I making choices because they feel right to me, or because I'm trying to fit someone else's mold? That question is the seed. From there, it's about small, intentional steps. Spend time alone, not out of loneliness, but to reconnect with yourself. Go for a walk with no distractions, no phone, just you and your thoughts. Write in a journal about what matters to you, what you value, what you want your life to stand for. These aren't grand gestures. They're quiet moments that build something powerful over time. They strengthen your sense of self, brick by brick, until you don't need anyone else to hold you up. This doesn't mean you reject relationships or stop caring about others. Far from it. Authentic independence isn't about cutting people out. It's about building connections that are real. When you're whole on your own, you don't lean on others out of neediness. You don't cling to them to fill a void. Instead, you bring something to the table. A grounded energy, a mutual respect, a presence that says, I'm here because I want to be, not because I have to be. That's what makes your relationships stronger, deeper, more meaningful. People feel the difference. They sense that you're not using them to prop up your ego or fill an emptiness. You're there fully because you've already found your footing. Let's get practical for a second. Picture this. You're at a gathering, surrounded by people laughing, talking, vying for attention. Someone's telling a story, trying to impress the group, fishing for reactions. You don't feel the need to jump in, to top their story with one of your own. You listen, you nod, maybe you smile. And when you do speak, it's not to prove anything. It's because you have something worth saying. That's authentic independence in action. You're not scrambling for the spotlight because you don't need it. Your confidence isn't loud or showy. It's steady, and people notice. They might not say it out loud, but they feel it. They're drawn to you not because you're performing, but because you're real. Now, this isn't about being perfect. You'll waver. You'll doubt yourself. There'll be days when the pull of external validation feels strong. When you catch yourself wondering if you're enough because someone didn't text back, or a project didn't go as planned. That's okay. The goal isn't to never feel those things. It's to not let them define you. Authentic independence is a practice, not a destination. It's about coming back to yourself again and again, choosing your values over the noise, choosing your path over the crowds. And here's the beautiful part. When you start living this way, you don't have to chase attention. It finds you. People will notice the quiet strength in your character, the calm assurance in your demeanor. They'll respect you not because you demanded it, but because you earned it by being true to yourself. You won't need to be the loudest voice in the room to be heard, because your presence will speak for itself. It's not flashy. It's not forced. It's the kind of confidence that lingers, that leaves an impression, that quietly inspires others to stand a little taller in their own lives. So, as you move forward, think about this. What's one small step you can take today to embrace your authentic independence? Maybe it's saying no to something that doesn't align with your values. Maybe it's carving out 10 minutes to sit with your thoughts. Whatever it is, start there. Build from there. Because true attractiveness, silent, steady, magnetic attractiveness, doesn't come from what you shout to the world. It comes from what you cultivate within. Embrace your independence, not to push others away, but to bring your best self to every moment. Live by your own compass, trust your own path, and watch how, without even trying, you become someone others can't help but admire. That's the quiet power of authentic independence, and it's already inside you, waiting to be set free. Habit 2. Master the art of silent elegance. Have you ever watched someone glide into a room and instantly command attention? Not because they're shouting or drawing eyes with loud gestures, but because there's a quiet grace about them that feels almost magnetic? They don't demand the spotlight. They don't need to. Their presence alone speaks volumes. That's silent elegance. A subtle, powerful habit that blends composure, poise, and self-control into something undeniably captivating. It's not about being the loudest or the flashiest. It's about carrying yourself with a dignity that leaves a lasting impression, all without uttering a single word. Silent elegance is the art of letting your actions, your demeanor, and your energy do the talking, and when you master it, people can't help but notice. Silent elegance starts with how you move through the world. It's in the way you stand, shoulders relaxed yet upright, grounded but not rigid. It's in the way you walk, steady, purposeful, without rush or hesitation. It's in the way you hold someone's gaze, not with intensity to intimidate, but with a calm assurance that says, I'm here, and I'm comfortable being me. This isn't about perfection or some unattainable ideal of grace. It's about simplicity. No exaggerated gestures, no nervous fidgeting. Just a quiet confidence that radiates from within. When your body language communicates control and ease, people feel it. They're drawn to it not because you're trying to impress, but because you're at peace with yourself. But it's more than just posture or movement, it's how you interact. Silent elegance shines through in your manners, in the small, thoughtful ways you treat those around you. A warm greeting, a genuine smile, a moment of attentive listening. These are the threads that weave an elegant presence. It's not about being overly formal or putting on airs. It's about showing respect, both for others and for yourself. Think about someone who holds the door open without fanfare, who thanks the waiter with sincerity, who listens without cutting in to steer the conversation their way. These acts don't scream for attention, but they linger. They make people feel valued, and that's a rare, powerful thing in a world where so many are too distracted to care. The real magic of silent elegance, though, lies in restraint. In a chaotic moment, when tempers flare or voices rise, the person who stays calm, who doesn't react impulsively, holds a quiet power. It's not weakness, it's strength. It's the ability to pause, to breathe, to respond instead of explode. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." That calm is the heart of elegance. When everyone else is scrambling to be heard, you're steady. When others lose their cool, you're collected. That composure doesn't just set you apart, it draws people in. They trust you, they respect you, they feel safe around you, all because you've mastered the art of staying grounded when it matters most. Cultivating silent elegance isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about refining who you already are. Start small. Pay attention to how you carry yourself today. Are you rushing through your steps? Shoulders tense? Mind elsewhere? Slow down. Stand tall. Take a deep breath and let it anchor you. Notice how you engage with others. Are you truly present, or just waiting for your turn to talk? Practice listening. Really listening. Letting the other person's words sink in before you respond. These aren't grand changes. They're subtle shifts. But over time, they build an aura of quiet sophistication that people can't quite put their finger on. They just know they feel it. Elegance also means bringing your best self forward. Not to show off, but to honor the moment. It's in the way you dress. Not chasing trends, but choosing what reflects your calm, composed energy. It's in the way you speak. Clear, measured, without cluttering the air with unnecessary words. The Stoics believed in simplicity as a form of dignity, and silent elegance embodies that. You don't need to overcomplicate things to stand out. In fact, it's the opposite. Strip away the excess, and what's left is a refined presence that feels effortless, even if it took effort to get there. Let's picture it, you're in a heated discussion. Voices are rising, opinions clashing. Instead of jumping in to prove your point, you wait. You listen. When you finally speak, your words are calm, thoughtful, cutting through the noise without raising your volume. People pause. They lean in. That's silent elegance, commanding respect not by force, but by presence. It's not about winning the argument. It's about showing that you're in control of yourself, not the chaos around you. And that control, it's magnetic. It leaves an impression that lingers long after the moment passes. This habit isn't a quick fix. It's a practice. Some days you'll stumble. You'll react too fast, slouch through a tough moment, or let impatience creep in. That's okay. Silent elegance grows from mindfulness, from catching yourself and choosing differently next time. Ask yourself, am I bringing calm to this situation, or am I adding to the noise? The more you choose calm, the more it becomes who you are. And when it does, you'll notice how people respond, not with loud praise, but with quiet admiration. They'll seek your company, not because you demanded it, but because your elegance makes them feel at ease. That's the power of mastering this art. It transforms how you move through life, turning every step into a statement of quiet strength. Habit 3, the subtle scent of sophistication. Sometimes, it's the smallest things that leave the biggest mark. A faint whiff of a scent as someone passes by, a memory triggered by a familiar fragrance. There's a quiet power in these details that words can't quite capture. That's the subtle scent of sophistication, a habit so understated, yet so impactful that it becomes a cornerstone of silent attractiveness. It's not about dousing yourself in cologne or chasing perfection. It's about paying attention to the little things, like scent and personal care, to reflect a deeper truth. You respect yourself. And when you carry that self-respect with quiet confidence, people notice. They feel it. They remember it. Scent is primal. It's one of our most instinctive senses, tied to memory and emotion in ways we don't always consciously grasp. Think about someone you've met whose presence lingered in your mind, not because of what they said, but because of how they smelled. Clean, subtle, refined. That's sophistication at work. It's not loud or overpowering. It's a whisper, a suggestion, a faint trace that says, I care about the details. A well-chosen scent, whether it's a light cologne, a fresh shampoo, or simply the crispness of good hygiene, creates an aura around you. It's not the star of the show. It's the finishing touch that completes the picture of who you are. But this habit goes beyond fragrance. It's about what it represents. Choosing a scent that feels authentic to you, whether it's woody, citrusy, or barely there, shows intentionality. It's a quiet signal of self-awareness, a nod to the fact that you've thought about how you present yourself to the world. And it's not just scent. Sophistication lives in the broader act of personal care. Clean hair, neat nails, fresh breath, a polished look. These aren't about vanity or chasing compliments. They're about showing that you value yourself enough to invest in your well-being. That self-respect is silent, but it speaks volumes. Tells people without a word that you're someone who takes life seriously, who finds dignity in the small things. The Stoics saw this connection between the external and internal. Seneca wrote, "Let your outward appearance be simple and dignified, reflecting the serenity of your mind." Sophistication isn't about extravagance. It's about alignment. When you care for yourself outwardly, it mirrors the calm and control you're cultivating within. A subtle scent or a well-groomed appearance isn't there to shout. It's there to enhance, to quietly reinforce the steady energy you carry. And that energy, it's what makes you irresistibly attractive, not because you're trying to be, but because you simply are. Let's be real. This isn't about perfection. You don't need an expensive perfume or a flawless routine. Sophistication is in the balance. Too much fragrance can overwhelm. Too little effort can fade into neglect. It's about finding what works for you and making it a habit. Start with the basics. A daily shower, a clean shirt, a scent that feels like an extension of you. Maybe it's a splash of something light in the morning, or maybe it's just the crispness of soap and water. The point isn't to stand out. It's to be effortlessly memorable. People won't say, "Wow, they smell amazing." They'll just want to be near you, drawn in by a presence that feels complete. Picture this, you're meeting someone new. You shake their hand, and there's a faint, pleasant scent. Nothing loud, just enough to notice. Your clothes are simple but neat, your hair in place, your demeanor calm. You don't say much, but they remember you. Days later, they can't explain why, but you've stuck in their mind. That's the subtle scent of sophistication. It's a quiet signature, a mark you leave without trying. It's not about dazzling anyone. It's about being someone who feels put together, inside and out. Cultivating this habit is simple, but it takes mindfulness. Ask yourself, am I presenting myself in a way that reflects how I feel about myself? If the answer's no, start small. Pick a scent that resonates with you, something that enhances your presence, not defines it. Build a routine that's sustainable. Brush your teeth, trim your nails, keep your space tidy. These acts aren't glamorous, but they compound. They create a version of you that feels refined, not forced. And when you carry that refinement with you, it becomes part of your silent attractiveness. An unspoken message that says, I take pride in who I am. In a world where so much is loud and fleeting, sophistication stands out by being subtle. It's not about competing for attention. It's about leaving a trace that lingers. People associate you with care, with dignity, with a quiet confidence that doesn't need to prove itself. That's the beauty of this habit. It's not loud, it's not showy, but it's powerful. Master the subtle scent of sophistication, and you'll find that the smallest details can make you unforgettable. Not because you demanded it, but because you lived it. Habit 4, being fully present. Have you ever been in a conversation where the other person was truly there? Not glancing at their phone, not drifting off into their own thoughts, but completely focused on you? It's rare, isn't it? And yet, it's unforgettable. That's the power of being fully present. A quiet, magnetic habit that doesn't demand attention but earns it effortlessly. It's about showing up, not just physically, but with your whole self, giving the moment and the people in it your undivided focus. When you do, you create something powerful. A sense of respect, a spark of connection, a feeling that lingers long after you're gone. In a world drowning in distractions, presence is a gift, and it's one of the most silently attractive qualities you can cultivate. Being fully present isn't about grand gestures or saying the perfect thing. It's about intention. It's letting go of the urge to check your notifications every 5 minutes, resisting the itch to plan your next reply while someone's still talking. It's locking eyes with the person in front of you and hearing not just their words, but the emotions behind them. When you're present, you're not half here and half somewhere else, you're all in. And that's what makes it so compelling. People don't just remember what you say, they remember how you make them feel. When you give them your full attention, they feel seen, heard, valued, and that's a connection that runs deeper than any clever line or flashy move. The Stoics understood this better than most. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." It's a simple idea, but it's profound. The past is gone, the future isn't here. All you have is this moment. When you embrace that, you unlock a kind of strength. Control over your mind, your emotions, your interactions. Presence isn't passive, it's active. It's choosing to let go of the mental clutter and anchor yourself in the now. And when you do, you radiate a calm confidence that people can't help but notice. You become someone they trust, someone they turn to, not because you're the loudest, but because you're the most there. Think about the last time you felt dismissed. Maybe someone nodded along while scrolling their phone, or cut you off to shift the focus back to themselves. Stings, doesn't it? It's not just rudeness. It's a signal that you don't matter. Now flip that. Imagine someone who puts everything aside, looks you in the eye and listens, really listens. You feel it instantly. Respect, warmth, a quiet bond. That's what presence does. It's not about fixing their problems or having all the answers. It's about showing up fully. And in a world where attention is fractured, that rarity makes you magnetic. But let's be real, it's not easy. We're wired for distraction now more than ever. Our minds race, our phones buzz, our to-do lists loom. Being present takes effort, especially when life feels overwhelming. It means catching yourself when you drift and pulling yourself back. It means noticing when you're only half listening and choosing to refocus. It's a habit, not a gift you're born with, and like any habit, it grows with practice. Start small. Put your phone down during a meal, focus on the taste of your food, the sound of the room, or sit with a friend and listen without planning your next word. These moments build a muscle, and over time, that muscle becomes second nature. Presence goes beyond conversations, too. It's in how you observe, picking up on the mood of a room, the subtle shift in someone's tone, the unspoken cues that say more than words. That awareness makes you perceptive, empathetic, socially sharp. You're not judging or jumping to conclusions, you're simply taking it in. And when you respond, whether with a nod, a question, or a quiet word, it's thoughtful, not rushed. People feel that depth. They sense that you're not just skimming the surface, you're engaging with what's real. That's what pulls them in, not because you're trying, but because you're present. Picture this. You're at a gathering, chatter filling the air. Someone's sharing a story, and while others fidget or interrupt, you're still. You listen. You nod. When they finish, you ask a question, not to steal the spotlight, but to show you care. Later, they seek you out, not because you dazzled them, but because you made them feel heard. That's presence in action. It's quiet, steady, powerful. It doesn't shout, "Look at me." It whispers, "I see you." and that whisper echoes louder than any noise. To cultivate this, try mindfulness in the everyday. Walk outside and feel the ground under your feet. Hear the wind. See the colors around you. Talk to someone and let their words fill your focus. No distractions, no multitasking. Ask yourself, am I here right now? If not, gently bring yourself back. Over time, you'll notice a shift. People will open up more, conversations will deepen, your relationships will grow richer. Not because you forced it, but because your presence invited it. In a noisy world, be the one who's fully there. You'll be amazed at how magnetic that stillness becomes. Habit 5. A touch of mystery. In a time when oversharing is the norm, when every thought, meal, and moment gets posted for the world to see, there's something quietly captivating about someone who holds a piece of themselves back. A touch of mystery isn't about being cold or aloof. It's about revealing just enough to spark curiosity, leaving others wanting to know more. It's not manipulation or a game. It's a natural allure, a quiet confidence that says, I don't need to lay everything bare to be seen. When you master this habit, you become someone intriguing, someone unforgettable, not because you're shouting your story, but because you're letting it unfold slowly, layer by layer. Mystery works because it taps into something human. We're drawn to the unknown. When you tell everyone everything, your every plan, your every feeling, there's nothing left to discover. It's like reading the last page of a book first. The journey loses its pull. But when you keep parts of yourself private, you create space for wonder. People start to ask questions. What drives them? What's behind that calm smile? It's not about hiding who you are. It's about sharing selectively, letting others earn the deeper pieces over time. That balance is what makes you magnetic. You're not an open book. You're a story they want to read, one page at a time. The Stoics valued this kind of restraint. Epictetus said, be silent, or let your words be worth more than silence. Mystery follows that wisdom. It's knowing when to speak and when to hold back, when to share and when to let silence do the work. It's not about being secretive for the sake of it. It's about offering value when you open up, keeping the rest for yourself until the moment's right. That self-control signals confidence. You don't need to explain every choice or broadcast every detail to feel secure. You're content letting your actions hint at your depth, leaving others to piece it together. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. Mystery isn't a mask. It's a choice. You don't have to play coy or dodge questions with cryptic answers. It's simpler than that. Share what matters, hold back what doesn't. Maybe you mention a passion but don't spill every detail. Maybe you make a decision and let it stand without justifying it to everyone. That quiet confidence, letting your life speak without over-explaining, creates an air of intrigue. People sense there's more to you, and that more keeps them coming back. Imagine this, you're with friends, and someone asks about your weekend. Instead of a play-by-play, you say, it was good. Spent some time on something I've been working on. They press, curious, but you smile and shift the focus. What about you? They're left wondering, not frustrated, but intrigued. Later, they bring it up again, wanting to peel back the layers. That's mystery at work. It's not distance, it's depth. You've given them a glimpse, not the whole picture, and that glimpse pulls them in. To cultivate this, start by reflecting, am I oversharing to feel validated? If you are, pull back. Share what builds connection. Thoughts that matter, stories with weight, but keep some corners of your life yours. Let people earn your trust before you open those doors. Live a layered life. 2. Pursue interests, chase passions, build a world that's rich and full. When people sense that depth, they'll want to explore it. You don't need to announce it. They'll feel it in your quiet energy, your subtle hints, your calm refusal to over-explain. Mystery isn't about being untouchable. It's about being intentional. Ask yourself, what's worth sharing and what's worth keeping? When you strike that balance, you become someone who can't be boxed in, someone who lingers in minds long after you've left. In a world of noise and oversaturation, be the one who leaves them guessing, just a little. That touch of mystery, paired with quiet confidence, makes you not just attractive, but unforgettable. Habit 6. Cultivate cultural wisdom. There's something quietly magnetic about a person who seems to carry the world within them. Not in a loud, boastful way, but with a calm, open-minded depth that draws you in. They don't just talk. They listen. They don't just know facts. They understand perspectives. That's cultural wisdom, a habit that broadens your horizons, sharpens your insight, and makes every interaction richer without you ever needing to show off. It's not about being a know-it-all or flaunting your intellect. It's about cultivating a curiosity that connects you to others on a meaningful level. When you master this, you become someone who doesn't just stand out. You resonate, leaving a quiet impression that lingers. Cultural wisdom isn't limited to book smarts or exotic trivia. It's not about memorizing capitals or speaking 5 languages, though those can help. It's about being genuinely curious about the world beyond your own doorstep. It's asking, how do others live? What shapes their days, their dreams, their struggles? And listening to the answers without judgment. In a time when so many of us stay locked in our own bubbles, scrolling the same feeds, talking to the same people, this openness is rare. It's refreshing. It signals that you're not rigid or closed off, but adaptable, thoughtful, willing to grow. And that's what makes it so attractive. People are drawn to someone who makes them feel understood, not lectured. This habit starts with a mindset. You don't have to travel the globe to cultivate it, though if you can, it's a gift. It's about seeking out the richness of human experience wherever you are. Read a book that challenges your worldview. Watch a documentary about a place you've never been. Talk to someone whose life looks nothing like yours and ask questions. Not to debate, but to learn. The Stoics believed in looking deeper, beyond the surface. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look beneath the surface. Let not the outward appearances mislead you." Cultural wisdom is that deeper look, not just at facts but at the why behind them. It's seeing the world through someone else's eyes and letting it expand your own. When you carry this wisdom, it shows not in a flashy display, but in quiet ways. You're the one who nods thoughtfully when someone shares a tradition you've never heard of, asking a question that shows you care. You're the one who offers an insight that bridges a gap, not to impress, but to connect. People feel it. You're not there to dominate the conversation. You're there to enrich it. That's what pulls them in. You don't have to say much. Your presence carries a depth that speaks for itself. It's not about having all the answers. It's about being open to all the questions. Let's be honest, though, this takes effort. It's easy to stay comfortable, to stick to what you know, to judge what's different instead of exploring it. Cultural wisdom asks you to step outside that. It means resisting the urge to interrupt with, "Well, in my experience," and instead saying, "Tell me more." It means holding space for ideas that don't align with yours, not to agree, but to understand. That's where the real strength lies, not in being right, but in being present. And when you do that, you become someone others trust, someone they seek out, not because you're loud, but because you bring a calm, grounded energy that makes them think. Picture this. You're at a table with people from different walks of life. Someone mentions a custom you don't know. Instead of glazing over or steering the talk back to yourself, you lean in. "What's that like?" You ask, genuinely curious. They light up, sharing more. Later, you tie it to something you've learned, not to one-up them, but to build on it. The room shifts. People feel seen, heard, engaged. That's cultural wisdom in action. It's not about being the smartest, it's about being the most open. And that openness is quietly irresistible. To cultivate this, start small. Pick up a novel from a culture you don't know. Listen to music that feels foreign. Strike up a conversation with someone new and let them lead it. Ask yourself, am I open to learning from every person I meet? If not, shift your lens. Listen more than you speak. Reflect before you respond. Over time, you'll notice your world growing, not just in knowledge, but in connection. People will gravitate to you, not because you dazzled them with facts, but because your quiet depth makes them feel valued. In a world of shallow noise, be the one who brings substance. That's the silent power of cultural wisdom. It makes you unforgettable without even trying. Habit 7. The heartbeat of compassion. In a rush-around world where everyone's chasing their own finish line, There's something quietly profound about someone who stops, really stops, to care. Not with big speeches or dramatic gestures, but with a gentle word, a kind look, a moment of stillness when someone needs it most. That's the heartbeat of compassion. A habit so understated yet so powerful that it shifts the air around you. It's not loud or showy. It's a steady pulse of empathy and kindness that makes people feel safe, understood, valued. When you carry this, you don't just attract others. You touch them, leaving an imprint that's deeper than words. Compassion isn't about fixing everything or playing the hero. It's not grand announcements or public displays. It's the small things. Listening when someone's voice shakes, offering a smile when their day's gone dark, staying patient when they stumble. Is showing up without expectation, giving without keeping score. In a world where so much feels transactional, where kindness often comes with strings, this selflessness stands out. It's rare. It's magnetic. People don't just notice it. They feel it. They're drawn to you not because you dazzled them, but because you made them feel human in a moment when they needed it most. The Stoics, often seen as stoic in the modern sense, detached, unfeeling, actually held compassion close. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." It's a balance, understanding others' flaws while holding your own steady. Stoic compassion isn't weakness, it's strength. It's seeing someone struggle and choosing to meet them with warmth, not judgment, all while keeping your own calm intact. When you do that, you become a refuge, not because you solve their problems, but because your presence offers peace. And that peace is what pulls people in quietly and irresistibly. Think about it. When was the last time someone truly heard you, not rushing to advise or dismiss, but just listening? It's a gift, isn't it? Now imagine being that person for someone else. You don't need to say much. A nod, a soft, "I get it," a hand on their shoulder. That's compassion in motion. It's not about having the perfect words. It's about being there, fully showing you care. People remember that. They might not say it out loud, but they'll carry it with them. You become someone they trust, someone they turn to, not because you shouted your kindness, but because you lived it. This isn't always easy, though. Life's messy. People can be frustrating, draining, unfair. Compassion doesn't mean letting them walk over you. It's not a doormat. It's finding the line between kindness and boundaries, giving what you can without losing yourself. It starts with listening, not to fix, but to understand. When someone vents, resist the urge to jump in with solutions. Let them spill. Be the calm in their storm. It's also about patience, staying steady when they're off balance, not because they deserve it, but because you choose it. That choice reflects a quiet maturity, a strength others can't help but admire. Picture this. A friend's upset, words tumbling out fast. Others interrupt or drift away, but you stay. You listen. You don't rush them or judge. When they're done, you say something simple, "That sounds tough," and mean it. They exhale, relieved. Later, they thank you not for solving it, but for being there. That's compassion's heartbeat. Quiet, steady, felt. It doesn't demand praise. It earns trust. And trust? That's the root of silent attraction. To cultivate this, start with yourself. You can't give what you don't have, so be kind to you first. Rest when you're tired. Forgive your own slip-ups. Then extend it outward. Pause before reacting. Ask, am I making them feel seen? If not, adjust. Practice in small ways. A smile to a stranger. A moment of patience in traffic. Over time, it grows. You'll notice people soften around you, open up, seek you out. Not because you're loud, but because your quiet kindness makes them feel safe. Compassion isn't about changing the world. It's about changing how you show up in it. Be the one who listens, who cares, who stays steady when others falter. In a noisy, rushed life, that stillness is powerful. It's what makes you magnetic. Not through force, but through heart. Live it quietly, sincerely, and watch how it transforms not just how others see you, but how you see yourself. That's the heartbeat of compassion. Soft, constant, and deeply alive. Habit 8. Laughter and joy. Have you ever met someone whose laugh lights up a room? Not a forced, attention-grabbing cackle, but a warm, genuine sound that makes everything feel a little lighter. They don't need to be the loudest or the funniest. They just carry a quiet joy that pulls you in. That's the magic of laughter and joy, a habit that connects, uplifts, and reveals a strength that's as subtle as it is powerful. It's not about being the life of the party. It's about finding lightness in life's moments, big or small, and sharing it authentically. When you master this, you become someone others want to be near. Not because you demand it, but because your presence feels like a breath of fresh air. Joy isn't just a fleeting emotion. It's a choice, a lens. Life throws curveballs. Deadlines, setbacks, rainy days that soak your plans. But the person who can smile through it, who finds a flicker of humor even when things go sideways, has a resilience that's hard to ignore. It's not about ignoring the hard stuff. It's about refusing to let it define you. A laugh at your own misstep, a playful comment in a tense moment. These don't erase the struggle, but they soften it. They show you're in control not of the chaos, but of how you face it. And that control is quietly magnetic. People are drawn to it because it's rare. Most of us get bogged down, but you rise above and that lifts them too. The Stoics, often painted as somber, actually saw this as strength. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Choosing joy isn't denial, it's defiance. It's saying, "This won't break me," with a grin instead of a grimace. Laughter doesn't mean you're frivolous. It means you're human, grounded, able to see the bigger picture. Think about how it feels to share a laugh with someone. It's instant connection, a bridge over awkwardness or distance. When you bring that ease to others, they relax. They open up. They feel safe, not because you're perfect, but because you're real. This isn't about forcing it, though. Fake chuckles or over-the-top antics fall flat. They're noise, not joy. Authentic laughter comes from within, from noticing the absurd, the small wins, the quirks of being alive. It's laughing at yourself when you spill coffee down your shirt, not to hide embarrassment, but to own it. It's cracking a gentle joke when the room's too serious, not to steal the show, but to lighten the load. People don't just hear it, they feel it. They remember you as the one who brought warmth, not because you tried too hard, but because you didn't have to try at all. Picture this. You're with friends, and the day's been rough. Everyone's tense. Someone vents, and instead of piling on, you say, "Well, at least we're not stuck in traffic and spilling coffee this time." It's small, but they chuckle. The mood shifts. Later, they say, "You always know how to make it better." That's laughter and joy at work. Not loud, not pushy, but steady. It's not about being the comedian. It's about being the calm in the storm. And that calm is what makes you unforgettable. Cultivating this takes practice. Start by noticing joy in your day. The sun breaking through clouds, a silly typo in a text. Lean into it, smile, share it. Laugh at your own fumbles. Not to brush them off, but to embrace them. Surround yourself with people who spark that lightness. 2. Joy's contagious. Ask, am I letting myself feel this? If not, pause. Find the glimmer. Over time, it's not just a habit, it's who you are. People will seek you out, not for grand entertainment, but for the quiet lift you bring. In a heavy world, be the one who reminds them life's not all weight. That's the strength of laughter and joy. It's subtle, resilient, and deeply attractive. Let's be real. You won't always feel it. Some days are dark, and forcing a smile feels hollow. That's okay. This isn't about pretending. It's about choosing joy when you can, knowing it's there waiting. The Stoics didn't expect perfection. They expected effort. Keep looking for it, and when it comes, share it. You'll notice how it shifts not just others, but you, making life lighter, connections deeper, your presence brighter. That quiet spark, it's what makes you someone they'll always remember. Habit 9, the art of self-care. There's a quiet power in someone who takes care of themselves, not with flashy spa days or a selfie-stamped routine, but with a steady, unglamorous respect for their own body and mind. They glow, not from perfection, but from balance. A calm energy that says, I value myself enough to show up whole. That's the art of self-care, a habit that's less about indulgence and more about discipline, less about vanity and more about dignity. When you master it, you don't just feel better. You become magnetic, radiating a vitality and strength that others can't help but notice, all without saying a word. Self-care isn't selfish, it's foundational. It's the quiet act of honoring yourself so you can honor the world. Think about it. When you're rested, fed, grounded, you bring more to every moment. More patience, more clarity, more you. Neglect that, and you're running on fumes, snapping at friends or fading into the background. But when you prioritize yourself, moving your body, eating what fuels you, resting when you need it, you project a message, I respect myself. That's not loud or boastful. It's steady, and steadiness is attractive. People sense it. The way you carry yourself, the calm in your voice, the light in your eyes. This starts with the basics. Your body's the starting point. Sleep that recharges you, food that nourishes, movement that wakes you up. It's not about chasing a model's physique or a diet trend. It's about feeling good in your skin. A walk around the block, a home-cooked meal, a night without scrolling. These aren't glamorous, but they build you up. When you care for your physical self, it shows. Your posture straightens, your energy lifts, your presence sharpens. You don't need to announce it. People feel it. They're drawn to that quiet vitality, that unspoken discipline that says you've got your own back. But self-care isn't just physical. It's mental, emotional. Life's a grind sometimes. Stress piles up, doubts creep in. The person who carves out space, 5 minutes to breathe, a page to journal, a quiet moment to reset, has a resilience others admire. It's not about escaping reality. It's about facing it with clarity. The Stoics nailed this. Seneca wrote, "A sound mind in a sound body is a short but full description of a happy state in this world." Balance is the goal, caring for both so neither crumbles. When you do, you carry a calm that's hard to shake, a strength that's subtle but solid. Picture this. You've had a long day, but instead of crashing with takeout and TV, you stretch, cook something simple, sit with your thoughts. Next morning, you're not just awake, you're alive. At work, you're focused, kind, present. Someone says, "You seem so together." They don't know the details. They just feel the result. That's self-care in action, not loud, not perfect, but real. It's not about luxury. It's about consistency. And that consistency, it's what makes you magnetic. People sense the energy you've built, the balance you've earned. This takes intention, though. It's easy to skip. Life's busy, demands pile up. But neglect yourself, and it shows. You're tense, drained. Bless you. Start small. A glass of water instead of a third coffee. A deep breath when you're stressed. A no when you're stretched thin. Boundaries are self-care. 2. Knowing your limits, guarding your energy. Ask, am I showing up for myself? If not, shift. Over time, these acts compound. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, and that quiet thriving pulls people in. The Stoics saw this as self-respect, not indulgence. You're not pampering. You're preparing, arming yourself to meet life's chaos with grace. When you're balanced, you're patient with others, clear in your choices, steady in your energy. People notice, not with fanfare, but with trust. They lean on you not because you're loud, but because you're solid. That's the art of self-care. It's quiet, it's daily, it's yours. And when you live it, you don't need to chase admiration, it follows. Let's be real, you'll slip. A late night, a skipped meal, a week of stress. It happens. That's not failure. It's life. The trick is coming back, choosing yourself again. Ask, what do I need right now? Answer it, even if it's just 10 minutes of quiet. Over time, you'll glow, not from perfection, but from care. People will feel it, the calm, the strength, the you that shows up whole. In a world of burnout, be the one who's full, not loud, but alive. That's self-care's silent power. It makes you magnetic, not by force, but by being. Habit 10. Emotional intelligence and social awareness. There's a quiet allure in someone who seems to get people. not through loud charisma or calculated moves, but through a calm, perceptive presence that feels like a steady hand in a storm. They don't just hear words. They sense the emotions behind them. They don't just react. They respond. That's emotional intelligence and social awareness. A habit that blends self-mastery with empathy, creating connections that feel real and grounding spaces that feel safe. It's not about controlling others. It's about understanding yourself and them, moving through life with a grace that's as powerful as it is subtle. When you master this, you become someone others trust and lean toward, not because you demand it, but because you offer something rare, genuine, quiet strength. Emotional intelligence starts with you. It's knowing what stirs inside, anger, joy, frustration, before it spills out. Imagine a tense moment. Voices rise, tempers flare. The emotionally intelligent person doesn't snap back or shrink away. They pause, breathe, choose. That's power not over the situation, but over themselves. It's recognizing your triggers. Maybe a sharp comment stings more than it should, and managing them, not letting them steer the wheel. When you do that, you carry a calm that's unshakable, a steadiness that others feel without you saying a word. It's not about suppressing what you feel. It's about channeling it, turning raw emotion into thoughtful action. Then there's the other side, social awareness. It's reading the room not to manipulate but to connect. It's noticing the furrowed brow, the quiet sigh, the energy shift when someone's holding back. You don't bulldoze through with your own agenda. You adapt. You know when to speak, when to listen, when to step up or step back. The Stoics loved this balance. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Social awareness lives there, in the listening, the observing, the quiet attunement that makes people feel seen. That's what pulls them in. You're not just there. You're with them. This combo, self-awareness and empathy, is magnetic because it's rare. Most of us react on impulse, driven by ego or haste. But when you're emotionally intelligent, you're different. You're the one who stays cool when others unravel, who offers a kind word when someone's crumbling, who knows how to lift the mood without forcing it. People don't just like you, they trust you. They remember how you made them feel. Understood, not judged. Heard, not hurried. That's the silent power here. It's not loud or showy, but it sticks. You become an anchor not because you try, but because you are. Picture this. A group's arguing, tension thick. You don't jump in with a shout or a fix. You listen, watch, wait. When you speak, it's calm, measured. I see where you're both coming from. Maybe there's a middle ground here. The air softens. Later, someone says, "You always know how to handle things." That's emotional intelligence in action, not flashy but felt. It's not about being perfect. It's about being present, aware, intentional. And that intention, it's what makes you quietly irresistible. Cultivating this takes work. Start with yourself. How am I feeling right now? Why? Catch your reactions. Pause before you snap. Reflect before you rant. Then shift outward. Watch people not to judge but to understand. What's their tone saying? Their body? Practice in small moments. Eye contact with a cashier, a patient ear for a friend. Ask, am I adding calm or chaos? Over time, it grows. You'll notice people seeking you out, not for drama, but for depth. In a world of noise, be the one who listens, who gets it. That's the strength of emotional intelligence. It connects without forcing, attracts without chasing. This isn't about never slipping. You'll misread cues, snap occasionally, it's human. The goal is progress, coming back to awareness, adjusting. The Stoics didn't demand flawlessness. They demanded effort. Keep at it, and you'll carry a presence that's steady, warm, real. People will feel it, the quiet confidence, the genuine care, and they'll gravitate to you not because you shouted, but because you understood. That's the silent magic of this habit. It's strength wrapped in stillness, attraction born from authenticity. Habit 11. Consistency and reliability. In a world where promises flake like old paint and plans shift with the wind, there's something quietly captivating about someone you can count on. They don't dazzle with big talk or vanish when it's inconvenient. They show up, follow through, stay true. That's consistency and reliability. A habit that builds trust brick by brick, earning respect without fanfare. It's not about being the flashiest or the loudest. It's about being the one who's there, steady as a heartbeat, day after day. When you master this, you don't just attract people, you anchor them, becoming someone they turn to, not because you demand it, but because you've proven you're real. Consistency isn't sexy. It's solid. It's keeping your word, even when no one's watching. It's showing up for the small stuff. A text returned, a favor done, not just the big wins. Reliability isn't loud promises. It's quiet delivery. Think about it. Who do you trust most? The friend who's always late, or the one who's there 5 minutes early? The person who flakes, or the one who sticks? When you're consistent, you don't need to sell yourself, your actions do it. People feel it, you're not a maybe, you're a yes. And that certainty is magnetic in a way that noise can't touch. The Stoics lived this. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Consistency is that being, living your values, not just preaching them. It's not perfection. It's effort. You don't cancel plans last minute because something shinier came up. You don't promise what you can't give. You do what you say, again and again, until it's who you are. That builds a reputation. Not shouted from rooftops, but whispered in trust. They're solid. People lean on that. They seek it. In a flaky world, reliability is gold. This goes deeper than tasks. It's emotional, too. Being steady isn't just about showing up physically. It's about showing up with the same energy. You're not hot one day, cold the next. You don't lash out then ghost. You're even calm when it's easy, calm when it's hard. That predictability isn't boring. It's safe. People know where they stand with you, and that's rare. Picture a friend venting. You don't overreact or vanish. You listen, steady as ever. They come back, not because you fixed it, but because you were there. That's reliability's quiet pull. It's strength they can rest on. Let's see it. You say you'll meet someone at 10. You're there at 9:55. They're late, but you wait, no fuss. Later, they say, "I knew you'd be there." That's it. Not loud, not praised, just felt. Or at work, you finish what you start every time. People notice, not with applause, but with trust. They give you more, not because you begged, but because you earned it. Consistency doesn't shout. It proves. And that proof, it's what makes you magnetic. People don't just like you. They rely on you. Cultivating this is simple but not easy. Start small. Keep one promise today, a call, a task, a yes you mean. Build from there. Honor your word even when it's inconvenient. Steady your emotions, too. Pause before you react. Choose calm over chaos. Ask, am I someone they can count on? If not, adjust. It's not instant. It's daily. Over time, you'll see it. People trust you more, seek you more, not because you're dazzling, but because you're dependable. In a world of maybes, be the sure thing. That's the power here. It's quiet, it's earned, it's real. You'll falter, miss a deadline, snap under stress. That's not the end. It's a chance to reset. The Stoics didn't chase perfection. They chased persistence. Keep showing up, and the slip-ups fade behind the pattern of your reliability. People will feel it, the quiet strength, the steady hand, and they'll stay close not because you forced it, but because you built it. That's consistency's silent gift. It doesn't demand attention. It commands respect. And there you have it, Zenlight 8 Family, 11 Habits to Cultivate a Silent Attractiveness that's all about becoming your best self. Before we part, I want to say something from the heart. Thank you. Truly. If you've watched this far, you're not just here for a quick scroll. You're here to grow, to reflect, to live with intention. That means the world to me and to this channel. These habits, inspired by Stoic wisdom, aren't about changing who you are. They're about unlocking the calm, confident, connected you that's already there. So keep shining, keep showing up, and know that every step you take with us makes this community stronger. Until next time, stay grounded, stay true, and thank you for being part of Zenlight 8. You're amazing. See you soon.